There's one phrase that Jews refuse to say, even when they have $5 in their bank account. And there's one phrase they say instead that reprograms their entire financial reality within days. I'm going to teach you both phrases today, and if you start using the right phrase immediately, you'll notice money opportunities appearing within 72 hours. I'm Rabbi Solomon, and for 40 years I've studied the language patterns of wealthy Jewish families, and what I discovered changed my understanding of prosperity forever. The words you speak create your financial reality, not your actions, not your hard work, your words. And there's one phrase that guarantees poverty and one phrase that guarantees wealth. The phrase that guarantees poverty is the phrase that 90% of people say multiple times per week. I'm broke. I can't afford it. I'm poor. I have no money. Every time you say these words, you're speaking a curse over your finances. You're programming your subconscious mind for lack. You're telling the universe, send me more broke, send me more poverty, send me more lack. And the universe obeys. But there's a phrase that wealthy Jews say instead. Even when their bank account is empty, even when they don't know where the next dollar is coming from. And this phrase completely reverses the curse. It reprograms their mind. It shifts their frequency. And within days, money starts flowing toward them. In minute 14, I'm going to reveal the exact phrase, word for word, that you must start saying today. But I'm also going to teach you when to say it, how to say it, and what to visualize while you're saying it. Because just saying the words isn't enough. You must embody the words. You must become the words. This isn't positive thinking. This isn't affirmations. This is ancient Jewish understanding of the creative power of speech. In Hebrew, the word for speak and the word thing are the same, davar. Because when you speak, you create things. Your words are not just sounds. Your words are creative forces that shape physical reality. I learned this principle from my grandmother when I was 14 years old. We were living in a small apartment in Brooklyn. My father had just lost his job. We had almost no money for food. I remember saying to my grandmother, "We're so broke. We're so poor." And she grabbed my face with both hands, looked me in the eyes, and said something I will never forget. She said, "Solomon, never say those words again. Never. In our family, we do not speak poverty. We do not claim lack. Even when we have nothing, we speak abundance. Even when the cupboard is empty, we speak overflow. This is how Jews have survived every persecution. This is how we rebuilt after every loss. We guard our words like we guard our lives." Then she taught me the phrase. She made me repeat it 10 times right there in the kitchen until I had it memorized. She said, "Every time you're tempted to say, 'I'm broke,' you say this phrase instead. Every single time. No exceptions." And she warned me, the first few times will feel like you're lying. But you're not lying. You're speaking the truth that hasn't manifested yet. You're calling things that are not as though they are. And when you do this long enough, reality catches up to your words. The first week I started using this phrase, nothing changed. I still said it, but I didn't believe it. The second week, something shifted inside me. I started to believe it a little bit. The third week, my father got a new job, better than the one he lost. The fourth week, my grandmother received an unexpected check for $2,000 from a distant relative. Within 1 month of changing our words, our entire financial situation had reversed. That's when I understood. Words are not descriptions of reality. Words are creators of reality. When you say I'm broke, you're not stating a fact. You're creating more broke. But when you say the right phrase, the phrase wealthy Jews use, you're creating wealth. It's spiritual law. Now, before I reveal this phrase, I need you to make a commitment. If you're going to stop saying I'm broke forever and start saying the wealthy phrase instead, write in the comments, I speak wealth into existence. This declaration activates the shift. Do it now. Let me tell you what your life looks like right now because of the words you've been speaking. You say, I'm broke, casually, like it's just a fact. You say, I can't afford that, multiple times per day. You say, money doesn't grow on trees, or I'm barely making it, or I'm living paycheck to paycheck. These phrases feel harmless. They feel like you're just describing your situation. But here's what's actually happening. Every time you speak these words, you're making a declaration to the universe. You're placing an order. And the universe is a perfect order taker. It doesn't judge. It doesn't question. It just delivers exactly what you order. You say, I'm broke. And the universe says, okay, here's more broke for you. Here's another unexpected expense. Here's another bill. Here's another reason to be broke. You've been speaking poverty over yourself for years, maybe decades, and then you wonder why you can't get ahead financially. It's not because you're unlucky. It's not because the economy is bad. It's not because you don't work hard enough. It's because you keep ordering poverty with your words. The Talmud says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your tongue has the power to kill your prosperity or birth your prosperity. Every word you speak is either a blessing or a curse on your financial future. And most people are cursing themselves multiple times per day without even realizing it. I've counseled thousands of people over 4 decades, and I can predict someone's financial situation just by listening to their words for 5 minutes. People who constantly say, I'm broke, are broke. People who constantly say, I can't afford it, can't afford things. People who constantly say, money is tight, experience tight money. It's not coincidence, it's cause and effect. But here's the good news. You can reverse this immediately. The moment you stop speaking poverty and start speaking wealth, your financial reality begins to shift. It doesn't happen overnight. Your subconscious mind needs time to accept the new programming. Your energy field needs time to adjust to the new frequency. But it happens. It always happens when you're consistent. Now let me explain why wealthy Jews refuse to say, I'm broke, even when they literally have no money. It's because they understand something about the nature of wealth that poor people don't understand. Wealth is not about how much money you have in this moment. Wealth is a state of consciousness. It's a frequency. It's a way of seeing yourself in relationship to abundance. A wealthy person who temporarily has no money says, I'm experiencing a cash flow situation, or I'm in between opportunities, or the phrase I'm about to teach you. They never identify as broke because they know that identity creates reality. A poor person who temporarily has money still identifies as broke, still thinks like a broke person, and within a short time, they're broke again. This is why lottery winners often end up broke again within a few years. They had money, but they never changed their poverty consciousness. They never changed their words. They kept speaking lack even while spending millions, and their words recreated their original reality. Jewish families teach their children from age 5, we don't say we're poor. We don't say we're broke. We don't speak lack over our lives. Even if the family is genuinely struggling, they train their children to speak differently. This linguistic discipline creates a prosperity consciousness that stays with them their entire lives. Now I'm going to reveal the phrase that wealthy Jews use instead of saying, I'm broke. This phrase comes from the Torah, from the book of Deuteronomy, where God promises the Israelites, the Lord will open to you his good treasure, the heavens, to give rain to your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hand. And you shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. Based on this promise, wealthy Jews created a linguistic formula that claims the promise as current reality. When they're tempted to say, I'm broke, they say instead, my wealth is on its way to me. Let me say it again so you hear it clearly. My wealth is on its way to me. Not I hope to have money someday. Not maybe things will get better. Not I'm trying to manifest abundance. No, my wealth is on its way to me. Present tense, certain, definite, already in motion. This phrase does three things simultaneously. First, it acknowledges that wealth exists. You're not pretending you have money you don't have. You're declaring that wealth exists in the universe, and it's moving toward you. Second, it creates expectation. When you say it's on its way, you're in a state of anticipation. You're looking for it. You're ready to receive it. Third, it programs your subconscious mind to notice opportunities, to see possibilities, to take actions that move you toward wealth. When someone asks you to do something and you don't have money to do it, instead of saying, "I can't afford it," or "I'm broke," you say, "My wealth is on its way to me, so I'm going to hold off on that for now." Or even simpler, "That's not in my budget right now, but my wealth is on its way." When you look at your empty bank account, instead of saying, "I'm so broke," you say out loud, "My wealth is on its way to me. It's moving toward me right now from expected and unexpected sources." When unexpected expenses come up and you don't know how you'll pay them, instead of panicking and saying, "I can't afford this," you say, "My wealth is on its way to me. The money for this is already in motion." Every single time you're tempted to speak poverty, you speak this phrase instead. Every time. No exceptions. This is linguistic discipline. This is how you reprogram your subconscious mind. This is how you shift your frequency from lack to abundance. Now let me teach you how to amplify the power of this phrase even more. When you say it, don't just say it with your mouth. Say it with your body. Stand up straight. Put your shoulders back. Smile. Look up slightly, as if you're looking at the horizon where your wealth is coming from. Feel the anticipation in your chest. Feel the excitement of knowing that money is moving toward you right now. And while you're saying it, visualize this. See yourself standing in an empty field. Far in the distance, you see something moving toward you. As it gets closer, you realize it's a river, a golden river of abundance flowing across the field directly toward you. The river is getting closer, moving faster, bringing everything you need and more. You can almost feel it reaching you. That's the energy you hold while saying, "My wealth is on its way to me." The Talmud teaches, words without intention are like a body without a soul, dead. When you speak this phrase without belief, without feeling, without visualization, it's just noise. But when you speak it with conviction, with expectation, with emotional energy, it becomes creative power. Let me tell you what happens when you start using this phrase consistently. Within the first 24 hours, you'll notice a shift in your own energy. You'll feel lighter, more hopeful, more positive. This is the first sign that the reprogramming has begun. Within 48 hours, you'll notice opportunities you were blind to before. A job posting you hadn't seen, a service you could offer, a person who could help you. Your awareness is expanding. Within 72 hours, something tangible usually happens. Not always money directly, but movement. Someone mentions an opportunity. You get an idea for a side income. You find something valuable you had forgotten about. The river is getting closer. Within a week, most people experience an actual increase in money. Small at first, maybe $50 or $100, but it's proof the formula works. Within a month, the changes are undeniable. More money, better opportunities, less financial stress. But here's the key. You must be consistent. You can't say this phrase twice and then go back to saying "I'm broke" 20 times. That's like taking 2 steps forward and 20 steps back. You must catch yourself every single time you're about to speak poverty and replace it with the wealth phrase. For the first week, you might catch yourself 10 times a day. That's good. You're becoming aware. By the second week, it gets easier. By the third week, the new phrase starts to feel natural. By 30 days, you've created a new linguistic habit. One critical warning. People around you might think you're crazy. When you have $10 in your account and you say, "My wealth is on its way to me," some people will mock you. They'll say you're delusional. They'll tell you to be realistic. But here's the truth. Those people are broke. And they're broke because they speak broke. Don't listen to broke people's advice about prosperity. Listen to wealthy people. And wealthy Jews say, "My wealth is on its way to me." Another warning, don't use this phrase to justify foolish spending. This isn't a license to buy things you can't afford because my wealth is on its way. No, you still manage your money wisely. You still live within your means, but you do it while speaking abundance, not while speaking lack. There's a big difference between saying, "I choose not to spend on that right now," versus, "I can't afford that because I'm broke." And one more thing, when wealth does start coming, and it will, you must acknowledge it with gratitude. The moment unexpected money appears, say out loud, "Thank you, my wealth has arrived. More is on its way." This keeps the channel open. This signals to the universe, send more. Let me share the deeper spiritual principle behind this. In Kabbalah, we teach that there are 4 worlds: the world of emanation, the world of creation, the world of formation, and the world of action. These worlds represent stages of manifestation. Everything that exists in the physical world, the world of action, first existed in the upper worlds as thought, then as word, then as form. When you speak, "My wealth is on its way to me," you're creating wealth in the world of words. And the world of words is just one step away from the physical world. Your words are bridges between the invisible and the visible. When you speak consistently with faith, your words build that bridge, and wealth crosses over from the invisible realm into your bank account. This is why the Torah says, "By the word of God the heavens were made." God didn't think the universe into existence. He spoke it into existence. You are made in God's image. You also create with your words. You've been creating poverty with "I'm broke." Now you're going to create wealth with "My wealth is on its way to me." I'll be honest about my own journey with this principle. Even after my grandmother taught me the phrase, there were times I forgot. Times when stress made me slip back into poverty language. And every time I slipped, I noticed my finances would tighten. The moment I corrected my language, things would loosen up again. This taught me that prosperity isn't just about what you do. It's about what you speak. Your words are either opening the flow or closing the flow. I've taught this principle to thousands of people, and the testimonies are consistent. A woman in Miami started saying, "My wealth is on its way to me," instead of "I'm broke." Within 3 weeks, she received a promotion with a $15,000 raise. A man in New York replaced "I can't afford it" with the wealth phrase. Within a month, he landed 3 new clients worth $30,000. A college student stopped saying "I'm poor" and started saying the phrase. Within days, she was offered a paid internship she hadn't even applied for. These aren't miracles. This is how language shapes reality. This is spiritual law in action. Now let me tell you why this matters urgently. Every day you continue speaking poverty is another day you're creating more poverty. You don't have time to waste. Your financial breakthrough is waiting for you to speak it into existence. But it won't happen while you keep saying "I'm broke." Today, right now, this moment, you're going to make a decision. You're going to decide that you will never say "I'm broke" again. Not as a joke, not casually, not ever. That phrase is banned from your vocabulary starting now, and every time you're tempted to say it, you're going to say instead, "My wealth is on its way to me." Make this decision now. Commit now. Because tomorrow, you'll face situations that tempt you to speak poverty. Someone will ask if you want to go out and you don't have money. Your first instinct will be to say, "I can't, I'm broke." But you're going to catch yourself, and you're going to say, "I'm focusing on other things right now," or "That's not in my budget," or simply, "My wealth is on its way to me, so I'm being strategic." Subscribe to this channel if this teaching resonated with you. Every week I share ancient Jewish wisdom about money and prosperity, secrets that transform lives when applied consistently. Turn on notifications so you never miss a teaching. Leave a comment right now. Write, "My wealth is on its way to me." Type it. Say it out loud as you type it. Let this be your first declaration of the new you, the wealthy you, the you who refuses to speak poverty ever again. Share this video with someone who constantly says, "I'm broke." You might be giving them the key that unlocks their prosperity. One phrase, one shift. Everything changes. Hit the like button to help YouTube recommend this to people who need to hear this message urgently. Let me close with this. The Talmud says, a person is obligated to bless the bad just as they bless the good. This means even when circumstances look bad, you speak as though they're good. Even when your bank account is empty, you speak as though wealth is flowing. This isn't denial. This is faith. Faith is speaking the end result before you see it. May you never again speak poverty over your life. May the words, "I'm broke," be permanently deleted from your vocabulary. May every cell in your body, every thought in your mind, every word from your mouth declare, "My wealth is on its way to me." May you see within 72 hours that this phrase has power. May money opportunities appear that weren't there yesterday. May you become living proof that words create reality. And may you look back on today as the day everything changed, the day you stopped cursing yourself with poverty language and started blessing yourself with wealth language. You are not broke. You're in between manifestations. You're in the gap between speaking and receiving. But that gap is closing. Your wealth is on its way to you. It's moving toward you right now. Can you feel it? Can you sense it coming? It's almost here. Shalom. May your words create your wealthy reality. May you never speak poverty again. May abundance flow to you because you spoke it first. It starts now, with one phrase, "My wealth is on its way to me." Say it, believe it, watch it manifest.